Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News. Happy Black Friday. Our third and final video today, I promise, but not really, regarding Johnny DeFilippo and his response to the after reunion special where Greg Grippo was sort of hard launched as his ex-fiancee Victoria Fuller's boyfriend. Okay, that's a lot to get into. That's very wordy. Now, we've got Johnny DeFilippo. We've played what Nick Viall thinks of him. We've played what he said on other podcasts, Almost Famous, and now what he's saying on this Bachelor podcast, which, of course, is run by some Bachelor alums that are friends with Victoria Fuller and Nick Viall. And I say that because there's, a little bit of, I don't want to say a fraction within fracture within the Bachelor world, but there's some groups that like some people and some groups that like others. And there's the old school group, which is Grocery Store Joe, Nick Viall, and of course, Nick Viall's friends with Victoria Fuller. Victoria's now with Greg Grippo. So there's that whole group that was together when Nick Viall launched soft launched Victoria and Greg in his TikTok story, which in the last video we said, why was that legal? Usually they're not allowed to spoil the show like that, but there they were. So clearly they have the producer's blessings. So anyway, Johnny DeFilippo says, Italy confirmed my gut feelings. Let's play 3 different clips here and hear what Johnny had to say. 3 different clips from the podcast.
I think she wanted to make it work.
No.
Why do you say that?
Not after the whole instant, like the whole Greg thing. I personally knew that she was not interested anymore. But I kind of had like this sense of hope that like maybe we can work things out.
But the whole Greg thing happened after the therapy. Like, if she...
No,
I feel
they saw each other at that party in LA, and that's when she stopped kind of talking to me completely.
All right, so Johnny's saying that Greg Grippo and Victoria Fuller saw each other at Nick Viall's girlfriend's birthday party, Natalie. Okay? And at that point, that's when Johnny says that Victoria stopped talking to him. They weren't broken up. They may have ended their engagement, but they weren't broken up. And that's when he knew it was probably over.
Okay.
I mean, do you think they just saw each other and...
When was that party?
Like, what do you think like something went down between them, or it was just like...
It's not necessarily my place to say. I wasn't there. I wasn't there, and in some weird, crazy way, like, as much as I want to be like, no, she did this and this, like, I asked her to marry me, and I still feel like I have this, it's my duty to kind of not trash her. I don't want to do that. I don't want to throw in.
No one wants to do that.
Yeah, no, we're not here. Like, we said before, like we're friends with Victoria, we're friends with Greg. We like you. Like, we're not trying to ruin anybody here.
Right.
It's a weird thing to like even talk about. So I'm like trying to put it into words, but I don't want to.
But like, you knew that they knew each other beforehand.
She talked to Greg. She talked about Greg a lot. She talked about Greg a lot. She brought Greg up in Paradise that they were talking previously, and something went down. Greg had a girlfriend or something, and she told him like, I'm going to Paradise, and that was that. And then
did you think they were done at that point?
I did. I really did, because I didn't know who Victoria was, and I was like, this is my fiance. I'm going to trust her. And then she had reached out to Greg like a couple weeks after Paradise to call him. She called him, and that didn't sit right with me. But
okay. Now we have Johnny saying, and it's important to know all these things because we're about to hear Victoria on Nick Viall's podcast, and we're going to get a completely different story here. But Johnny says that Greg Grippo and Victoria Fuller were speaking on the phone. Now, I'm not this type who's like, well, you can't have friends with someone of the opposite sex. But in this case, clearly it's more than that.
Didn't want to be that jealous person, and I thought like she had to close the door with someone because she left and in 30 days got engaged. And this was something she had to do, You leave.
Did she told you about it, I'm assuming?
Yeah. I had asked her if she had talked to Greg, because she had made it a point that she was like, I need to talk to Greg and tell him what happened in Paradise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So my question would be, why do I care? Why? I'm an adult. I just had this weird introspective moment where I'm like, I can't believe how consumed we are of this, but we all are, right? We want the truth. You know what I mean? You can't handle the truth. All right.
You can't handle
all
the
right.
truth.
So anyway, we want to know, like, why did she call him? Why did she have to talk to Greg was it to tell Greg that they're done? You know,
that was a couple weeks after, and we were still very much together. And then you know, like a month went by, and then she saw him at that party. And that's when we kind of stopped talking.
All right. And 2 more clips. Let's jump right into it. How Johnny felt after the reunion.
Did you have any feelings left for her, or were you like?
By the way, just as a side note, I think Grocery Store Joe looks great here. I like this like sort of dark Grocery Store Joe look. He's actually driving the conversation. You usually, you know, not bad. Hey, give this guy a raise.
That's like this is over.
Yeah, I mean, again, I didn't expect to be engaged. So
yeah.
Yes, I care deeply for this person, you know. Like I will always hold a soft spot for Victoria in my heart.
Oh my God.
But after the whole Italy thing came out, I was pretty much just like, I'm not communicating with this person anymore. And that's not how I feel about you. It's just like for my own peace of mind.
Yeah.
You know, like I will.
Well, if you want to move on, you kind of like that's how I move on too. Like you kind of have to just cut it off.
Out of sight, out of mind. That's how I kind of had to look at it. But you know, if anything terribly were to happen, I would be there for you. But I was just after that whole Italy thing, it kind of like confirmed all my gut feelings, and I was just like, I can't listen to you anymore because you're not being honest with me, and now I'm kind of going crazy, so I need to cut myself off.
He said, "I'm going crazy." He said he's basically saying he doesn't believe her. He's going nuts.
Makes sense. Did you guys and feel free if you don't have to answer this or not. Did you guys have a conversation after the reunion? Because we know everybody was at the after party.
Yeah, I mean it's out there. There's videos of us kind of like walking away and talking. So yeah, we kind of.
That's me, guys. Thank you very much. You're welcome. We did it. We have permeated the grounds of the Bachelor cult audiences, and we caught them in a TikTok walking together. Okay, here's what
we talked a little bit. I wasn't trying to. I know she was essentially really torn up after the whole thing, and I was too. After that reunion, I think everyone went out. I just went home. I called my mom. I was crying. I was just like, I can't believe we just did what we did. Like, this is sad.
This is sad, he says. In our final clip, Johnny on the footage of Greg and Victoria in Italy.
Up until that party, we were very much still. I had bought a ticket to see her in Nashville. She was supposed to come to my house for my birthday. Like she called me that Friday night. Saturday was the party. She called me Friday night because I was in Arizona visiting my brother. So we were very much still, together, at least working on it.
And when you saw the pictures, because there was pictures all over the internet, when you saw the pictures that she was there, he was there, what was that conversation like?
I didn't want to think too much about it. So I kind of just was like, hey, you didn't really answer me at all. This is the first time you've gone out and not said a word to me until the next day. And I was like, I see a bunch of videos and pictures you by Greg. Like, did anything happen? And, it was like, no, you don't look too deep into it. And I was like, all right, I'll take your word for it. I want to. So, but then kind of after that day, like communication was just done. Like, I love you was not there anymore. Good morning, good night. I had to like pry text from her, and I didn't want to do that.
Was there like
the worst when you stop doing the good night text and the good morning text, and you just stop saying I love you? It's like you're just letting the relationship die. Oh, this is horrible.
Hey, were there texts where like the time frame were the responses like hours after, or was
it was like it went from like we were FaceTiming every day and talking up until that party, literally Friday night.
Okay.
And
so
then
that party being the one where Greg Grippo and Victoria Fuller were at Nick Vile's girlfriend's party.
Your gut feeling was right.
You just know
couldn't say anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be that person and accuse, and when I did, I felt bad. So maybe I am being insecure. I don't want to be that person. Like, I'm trying to work on these things. And then it was like hours, and then it moved to like days, and then I was just like, all right, I feel annoying at this point. I feel like me even saying hi to her is just not what she wants.
Can you imagine that? Talking to your your wife or your fiance and just saying hi is annoying to them. No, I get it on the day-to-day. I'll annoy the hell out of my wife. Yeah, she's so sick of me. Oh boy, I'll be like, she is so sick of me. But you know, if that's for half an hour. You have lunch, you're better. This is just such a heartbreaking scenario here where the relationship kind of faded out from there. And again, how this all lines up on a timeline, it's super confusing. It could possibly be that Johnny's own insecurity is what drove, and again, this sounds like quack science here, but it could be that Johnny's own insecurity drove Victoria and Greg to be together. And it could also be that he had a little bit of an intuition that she was still into Greg, and of course, a little bit of both could have happened. Maybe she couldn't find that love with Johnny because he was too worried about other things, but also maybe she was snooping around. I mean, he did say she called Greg. It's like, look, if Greg wasn't a problem, why are they talking on the phone? I don't know. So many ways to look at it. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Everyone have a fantastic weekend. And if you're in Newport, Rhode Island, Saturday, November 26th, come to my stand-up show at 8 p.m. at Rejects Beer Co. Link in the comment section below. We'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.